children, welcome to the biology class. Today we are going to discuss about sexual reproduction. In the last class, already we have discussed about asexual mode of reproduction. Then what is the difference between sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction? What is the significance of sexual reproduction? Let us discuss. Sexual reproduction involves both the gender, that means male and female. It needs two individuals. But in the case of asexual reproduction, it involves only one parent or only one individual.
Significance of sexual reproduction. When eukaryotes reproduce sexually, offspring receive genetic material from two parents. Meiosis and fertilization shuffle and reshuffle genes, generating lots of genetic diversity. The offspring of sexually reproducing organisms are never identical to either their parents or their siblings, except for identical twins. Genetic variation increases the likelihood of a population's adapting to new or changing environmental conditions. The importance of sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction creates a variety of offspring. Variation is important because it creates individuals with new combination of genes. Combinations of genes may give useful characteristics such as resistance to diseases, tolerance to drought, etc. The more variation there is in a population, the more likely it is to be able to survive changes in the environment.
So children, we are getting DNA from our mother and father. We will get twice the number of DNAs compared with our parents. If it is continuous like this, each new generation will get twice the number of DNA. It will lead to difficulty to control the cellular apparatus by this mess up DNA or number of DNAs. So what will be the solution for that? Is it happening like this? No. Let us see.
In our body, two kinds of cell division occur: mitosis and meiosis. Mitosis will occur in our somatic cells. Somatic cells means except germ cells, all other cells of our body is known as somatic cells. Germ cells means sperm and ovum. So meiosis will occur in the germ cells and mitosis will occur in somatic cells.
In the case of mitosis cell division, diploid cells will form. What is meant by diploid cells? The number of chromosomes in each cell is 46 or 23 pairs. So each somatic cells of our body will contain 46 chromosomes. It is because of mitotic cell division.
Meiotic cell division generate haploid cells. What is meant by haploid cells? It consists of only one set of chromosomes, that means 23 chromosomes. So each germ cell's sperm will contain 23 chromosomes and ovum will contain 23 chromosomes. If it fuse together or if it fertilize together, we will get the zygote and it will contain 46 chromosomes. So this 46 will be constant for all the members of one species. That means all the human beings will contain 46 chromosomes and all the elephants will contain certain number of chromosomes like that. So in the species, this number of chromosomes will be constant. It is because of meiosis or meiotic division.
A small E. coli cell takes only around 20 minutes to duplicate itself. Amazing, isn't it? Ever wondered how does a single-celled bacterium like this one adds up new individuals to its population? The reason behind this is truly incredible. And you've heard about it in your lower grades as well. Any guesses what could it be? This is all because of the process called mitosis. By this process of cell division, lower organisms like prokaryotes and a few unicellular eukaryotes produce new individuals of their kind. This is also called asexual reproduction. So mitosis helps in carrying out asexual reproduction in lower organisms. And does it have any significance in the higher organisms like us as well? Absolutely. How does our skin manage to heal the wounds on its own? And that too with the exact same new skin cells? Is it possible due to mitosis? That's right. Mitosis process gives rise to the new cells which are identical to the parent cells. So if there occurs an injury to any tissue of the body, then the damaged cells of that area are replaced by new ones which are produced with the help of mitosis. And not only repair, but the process of mitosis helps in the overall growth and the development of the organism. And how does that happen? It's obvious that due to mitosis, cells make identical copies of themselves, giving rise to growth of tissues and finally the organs. So the increase in size and complexity of higher organisms is possible due to the process of mitosis. So, let's have a look at this marvelous process in detail. Mitosis is simply a process of cell division which produces two new identical daughter cells with the same amount of genetic material. So are these two daughter cells exactly similar to each other? Yes, they are genetically similar to each other. And this is the reason why mitosis is also called equational division. It's extremely important to maintain the amount of genetic material in any cell because uneven number of chromosomes in a cell can lead to abnormalities like cancer. Now, before moving ahead with the concept of mitosis, let's get through with a few important terms first. We've something called the DNA, chromatin, and chromosomes. So let's find out what exactly these concepts are. We've seen these tangled thread-like structures in the nucleus. Any idea what they are? Well, these are called chromatin. If we zoom in further, we find these thread-like structures appear to have this bead-on string arrangement. These beads are nothing but octamers made up of histone proteins. And what about this string? Well, that's our DNA molecule. Yes, this string-like structure wrapped around the histone octamer is DNA. And why is this wrapped in this fashion? That's because it helps in increasing the compactness of the complete structure. The wrapping reduces the volume occupied by the long stretch of the DNA, keeping its length intact. So it's the DNA which, along with the proteins, forms the chromatin structure. And what is this chromosome now? In any metabolically active cell, the genetic material is always present in the form of these tangled threads, that is the chromatin. But during cell division, these threads condense to form a structure which appears somewhat like this. And this is nothing but the chromosome structure. So is chromatin and chromosome the same? Technically, yes. The only difference is that the chromatin structure is generally found in a metabolically active cell in the form of tangled threads, while the same threads condense to form the classical higher order structure of chromosomes. So we can say that the DNA with histone proteins make up the chromatin, while the same chromatin condenses to form chromosomes. There is one more term that we need to know of. It's called the chromatid. Now what could that be? This is a single chromosome. Now can you tell me whether this is also one chromosome or half? It's also a complete chromosome. In both these structures, these arm-like structures which are attached to the central bulge are called chromatids. In simple words, the thread-like strands which are attached to this centromere are called chromatids. Now in this chromosome, there's only a single chromatid, while this one has two sister chromatids attached at this common point. two sister chromatids symbolize the duplicated DNA. That means the DNA which is duplicated for cell division is attached to its paternal copy before the actual division. This was about the DNA, chromatin, chromosomes, and the chromatids in general. Now let's get back to the process of mitosis and have a detailed look at this amazing process in the next video. Have you ever thought of cloning yourself or regenerating some of your organs? But being humans, we can't just divide into two to make an extra copy of ourselves or regenerate any of our parts. If we were some other type of organism, let's say a starfish or a cactus, then cloning or regenerating would have been possible. Starfish show a startling property of regeneration. They can simply regrow their lost limbs to the complete length. On the other hand, some cacti can clone themselves with the help of fragments which drop off their branches. The fragments can take root and develop into new genetically identical cacti. These regenerating and cloning strategies are both employed by mitosis that we've already seen in depth in the previous video. As we've studied, mitosis helps in asexual reproduction in certain organisms, like in the case of this cactus plant. But in contrast to this, humans, along with many other plants and animals, produce new individuals exclusively through a process called sexual reproduction. The complicated yet necessary process of sexual reproduction is the key to species propagation in higher animals. And how is the process made possible? All begins with a unique process of cell division. It's called meiosis, the other type of cell division in contrast to mitosis. And what exactly is meiosis about? Let's dive deeper to understand this beautiful concept in detail. Let's begin with the definition of meiosis first. Meiosis is an exceptional phenomenon which produces 4 daughter cells, each with half the number of chromosomes compared to the single parent cell. You heard me right. The process gives us 4 new cells, unlike in mitosis that produces only 2 new cells. And what could be the reason for this? Why do we need 4 daughter cells, and that too with half the number of chromosomes? Just think about it. Sexual reproduction involves both the parents, or 2 cells, one from each parent to be precise. Now, if there are 2 cells fusing, it's obvious that the number of chromosomes should be half in both the cells, so that the fused cell will carry the normal chromosome number. Now let's take it the other way. We know that the human chromosome number is 46. So, if there are 2 human cells fusing to give us an embryo, then the newly fused cell will carry 46 plus 46, 92 chromosomes. This is simply not possible in nature. So in order to maintain the chromosome number of species, it is necessary that the 2 fusing cells contain half, that is, 23 chromosomes in number. So in order to maintain the number of chromosomes in the zygote, the chromosome number in the fusing cells need to be halved. Also, the chances of fertilization increase with more number of cells. Hence, instead of 2, making 4 cells is preferable in nature. This is the reason why meiosis gives us 4 daughter cells with half the number of chromosomes. Now, since the process yields us cells with half the chromosome number, it's also called as reductional division. Now that we've got introduced to the process, let's glance at the definition once more, but this time with respect to the chromosome number. Meiosis is a process that gives rise to a haploid cell from the diploid one. Now you must be wondering, what is a haploid cell and a diploid cell? Well, haploid cell is the one that has a single set of chromosomes, while diploid cell has 2 sets of chromosomes. That means a diploid cell has chromosomes in double doses, while a haploid cell has chromosomes in a single dose. So the cells in our body with 46 chromosomes are all diploid, while the reproductive cells are haploid with 23 chromosomes.
Importance of meiosis. Production of gamete. The only process that produces gametes is meiosis. Reduction in chromosome number. Meiosis ensures that each gamete has only half the number of chromosomes of the parent cell. Maintenance of chromosome number in somatic cells. The somatic cells have their number of chromosomes maintained. Production of variation. That means genetic recombination makes the parent and offspring difference. Variation occurs in two ways. They are different combination of chromosomes and crossing over. Crossing over of chromosomes. Difference between mitosis and meiosis. Mitosis involves one cell division and results in two daughter cells. Meiosis involves two successive cell divisions and results in four daughter cells. The resultant daughter cells are diploid and genetically identical in mitosis. The resultant daughter cells are haploid and genetically different in meiosis. Mitosis occurs in all organisms except viruses. Meiosis occurs only in animals, plants, and fungi. Mitosis creates all body cells except germ cells. Meiosis creates germ cells only. Now let's see the difference between male gametes and female gametes. A male gamete is the male reproductive cell which unites with the female gamete to produce the zygote. A female gamete is the female reproductive cell which unites with the male gamete to produce the zygote. Male gametes produced by spermatogenesis. Female gametes produced by oogenesis. Male gametes can be found inside the pollen grains of the seed-bearing plants. Female gametes can be found inside the ovary of seed-bearing plants. Male gametes produced in the testes. Female gametes produced in the ovaries. Male gametes smaller than female gametes. Female gametes larger than male gametes. Male gametes are cone-shaped cells. Female gametes are spherical-shaped cells. Male gametes contains a small cytoplasm. Female gametes contains a larger cytoplasm to nourish the embryo. Male gametes are mobile, that means it can move. Female gametes are immobile, it cannot move. Male gametes contains a tail or flagella, which helps in swimming. Female gametes do not contain tails or flagella. Male gametes produced in large numbers to ensure successful fertilization. Female gametes, only one is released per month in humans. Male gametes comprise a lot of mitochondria to produce energy to swim. Male gametes comprise a few mitochondria since they are immobile. So children, today we had discussed about significance of reproduction, importance of reproduction, mitosis and meiosis, importance of meiosis, etc. So, in the next class, let us discuss plant reproduction. So, children, learn well. Thank you.